to start our investigation at Yorktown Memorial Hospital, hosted by Curious Twins Paranormal Investigations out of San Antonio. And we're here with Fred and Steven. Thank you so much for hosting us. This is awesome. I'm so excited.
Happy to have you.
So how long have you guys been doing paranormal stuff?
So we started the business in 2017, and before that, as soon as we got together, we're a couple, and as soon as we got together, we started traveling and, doing ghost tours and doing investigations. And we had always this has been part of our lives, but we just really thought, gosh, we want to bring this home. And one of the things that we were realizing is that all of the tours in San Antonio, they were a very, a narrative that didn't include Native American stuff. Yeah. And so we wanted to bring that, and we were really excited to do that. And so it's been our passion to keep adding to that and keep sharing these stories. And like we always tell people, our job, we like to think, is just to make the paranormal more normal.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Yeah, sure. So has this been something that you guys have been into like your whole lives, or did you have experiences when you were young that kind of brought you in, or what?
Yeah. So for me, starting about 3.5, I had really strange experiences, everything from dreams that kind of just gave me that gift of knowing. Like, they didn't tell me in the dream, but I knew after the dream.
Yeah.
So that was kind of my first introduction, and my first introduction was literally kind of waking up from a dream and knowing my great-grandmother was going to die on a particular date in December, right after Christmas. And it ended up happening exactly like I told my family, and they were just kind of like, what a weird kid. And then it never stopped. And in college, I really tried to ignore it and acted like I was real normal, but there was something different. There was something different there. And finally, I began to embrace it when I got to my late 20s and early 30s. And then we met, and he had a kind of a fascination.
Yeah, and for me, growing up, I was the youngest of 4 boys. And my older brothers were much older than me, and they would always try to scare me. And they would show me the scariest movies, and I would just be a terrified kid because they would be like jumping out of closets. And then at one point I just decided I'm just gonna love this. This is gonna be my thing. Yeah. And so I just loved gothic fiction and got into really obscure horror. And I was always really fascinated by the paranormal, but I never personally experienced it. And there was always lore in my family that I never really got to. And so I was always a skeptic until I met Fred. And so the very first date that we went on, he actually did a card reading for me. And I knew okay, this is a legit thing. And since then, I've seen him, help people in really, really fascinating ways. He's very, very gifted. And on our investigations and exploring cemeteries and haunted properties, we just have experienced so much stuff and captured so much stuff that I'm a true believer now. And it's really amazing that we get to do this as a couple and as a company, and share this with people. And that's what we love, and that's why we're here tonight.
Oh, I love that. That is so cool. And I love that you read for him. I read for my husband every Sunday. He's like, it's Sunday. My week is getting ready to start. I need you to read for me.
I love that.
I gotta know, what's my guidance here? So that's great. So cool. Yeah. That's so cool. I love that. Okay, so for this location in particular, let's hear your most memorable, powerful experiences that just really stuck with you.
I think the first one for me is really, I'd already investigated the property a couple times. I had some strange things happen. Definitely had a lot of feelings and a lot of, visions and good spirit communication. But one of the investigators we had, I was telling the group earlier, we, at the end of the night, we go through every floor. We don't want to lock a guest in. We go through every floor, make sure everybody's out. We call names, all that kind of stuff. I was with another gentleman that was working that tour, and his name was Yuli. And Yuli and I, we got to the bottom floor. That was the last floor we had to sweep. And when we got there, we, at one point, noticed that, we were 2 people. We had 2 shadows, for a while. And we noticed there was a third one for a while. And then we realized that the third one followed us for about 5 minutes. Definitely kind of shook us up. Yeah. And we tried to get out of there pretty quick.
I can imagine.
But I think that was the most unsettling because we just didn't really know. I honestly didn't have much of a sense spiritually. I think I was just kind of like, it's late, it's 4 in the morning, I just need to go home. Yeah.
Wow.
So I think that was one of the weirdest ones.
And then, I've noticed for me personally, I will have an experience like that, and it'll be like that, where it's just kind of oh, okay, that was a little strange. And then the more I can kind of sit with it and process it later, it's Wait a second. Whoa.
Yeah.
That was like intense. What in the world? So I can see how that would take a little time to kind of really like settle in you, you know?
Yeah.
How about you, Stephen?
You know, for me, I really love the things that our guests share with us because they all capture their own stuff. But there was one particular instance where Fred and I were actually here before anybody else, and we thought, okay, we're going to take a selfie in front of the Yorktown Memorial Hospital. We're going to share it on Facebook. This is going to be our thing. And so we took our picture and we posted it. And a few minutes later, somebody posted a comment of a zoomed-in screenshot of one of the windows up there. And there's a figure in the window. And we weren't even trying to capture anything.
It was just a selfie.
We hadn't even went in yet.
Yeah, we hadn't even gone inside yet, and we were already experiencing some paranormal stuff. So it was really, really cool.
Oh, that is awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
All right, so other than this location, favorite haunted place, where do you just love to investigate? You get lots of good stuff every time.
So I tend to kind of in my head think like the most extreme are the most interesting.
Right.
So about 4 or 5 years ago, we were at Yorktown Hospital, which is now, I believe, torn down. We were out there, and I was doing a channeling when I was channeling for a spirit that was just kind of laying off like this horrible stuff his dad had done to me. And all of a sudden I felt Dad's presence. I felt his anger. And then I felt like a really intense like kick to my balls basically. And I kind of was just like, did that just happen? And I remember getting back in the car, driving out of Yorktown, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm hurting. It was to the point where this lasted literally days. I actually went to the doctor to make sure I was good. I had a test ran. I even had all of it just in case, and everything was fine. Everything was absolutely fine. That was probably one of my most intense. I'm kind of sad that I can't keep exploring that, just because that structure is no longer there. But that was one of my most intense and most, I guess, interesting.
Yeah.
Oh,
for
very,
sure.
very interesting.
Yeah. I mean, because you can't deny that. I mean, that was something real that happened.
Oh yeah.
That's amazing. That's so cool. How about you, Stephen?
Yeah, so I personally really love our missions in San Antonio. We have such a rich history in that city, and I think the missions are a major focal point in that. But it's also a focal point in talking about the colonization that happened and some of the tragic things that happened to our indigenous populations.
Yeah.
The most kind of impressionable experience that we had was at a mission, but not in San Antonio, but in Goliad, Texas. The Presidio La Bahia in Goliad, a former mission, but it was also the site of a major execution at the hands of Santa Ana. And about 500 Texans were perished there. They were executed on site in one day. And so, but what's great about it is today it's a museum, but you get to rent the living quarters overnight. And when you do get to stay in the living quarters, you have the whole mission to yourself. And so we did it a couple of times.
I gotta do that.
Yes,
that's so
that's
cool.
like
That's so cool. I gotta do that.
Bucket list destination for
I got
sure.
trip.
But we went one time and it was really, really intense, just the two of us. But we went a second time with a group, and I got really, really sick leading up to the location, and to the point that I couldn't do anything at the destination. I could not participate in the actual investigation at all. I was sick to my stomach. I was curled up in the ball. The next day I had to be taken to the hospital.
Oh my gosh.
And it turns out that my appendix was about to rupture, and I had to get an appendectomy. I mean, it could have been, this happens to everybody at any time, but it could have been a coincidence. But it was very strange.
That's a very strange coincidence.
Yeah,
right then.
We've yet to go back.
Yes, that's a place that I would think twice about going back to.
And so, do you feel that the longer you have done this and the more close you have become with someone who is a medium, do you feel like you might have some of your own sensitivity, some of your own gifts that have started to open up over the years?
I think that, what I've come to realize with, being a partner of a medium is that everybody has a connection to the other side. And I think it's really about being open to that connection and kind of understanding okay, maybe the thing that I heard wasn't just something in the background, maybe that was something paranormal, or maybe that shadow that I saw at the corner of my eye, maybe it wasn't just a tree branch going by,
Yeah.
Being open to the paranormal, once you think in that different way, then I think you can, start having experiences of your own, and that's actually what happened to me. So, experiencing things on the daily wasn't something that happened before, but now that you know I've been
Now
with
you're
Fred, I'm open to it.
sense.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Very, very cool. Okay, so thank you guys so much for taking some time to talk to me. Before we wrap it up, tell me what's up next for y'all. What do you have coming up? What can we look forward to?
Yeah, so we have for a couple years been trying to plan a little bit of like a morbid travel guide, and so our idea is that by the end of the year we want to release a podcast that just takes some major haunted cities and breaks it apart, tell you where to stay, where to eat, how to get the best deals.
That's amazing.
And so that's kind of our goal. We're working on that, and we're hoping to get that by the end of the year out. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I want that.
More of a travel guide.
'Cause that's what I love. Like every time we're going anywhere, I start looking up
Yeah.
haunted hotels. Where am I going to stay? It's going to be haunted.
Sure.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Okay, and you guys do regular events at Victoria's Black Swan Inn in San Antonio, right?
Yeah.
And as we just found out, Stephen is going to be on Portals to Hell coming up because they did an episode there, so that's badass. That's so cool. Well, great. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much for coming. It's been great to have you.
I can't wait to go
Explore, go and explore. It's a really cool location, so enjoy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Y'all are great.
No problem.
Thanks
Thanks so much.
Like,
Yeah.
how to get in contact with them?
Oh, yeah. How can we find y'all?
Sure. Yeah, CuriousTwins.com is the easiest way. We're also on Facebook and Instagram, Curious Twins Paranormal.
Okay, you got that. Curious Twins Paranormal, San Antonio, Texas. They are awesome.